And back here. The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, not tonight. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and listen to the music.
This episode of Auto Dealer Live is brought to you by TrueCar.
Good. Two.
Good, because I hope it knocks over all your patio furniture.
Hey, so now you can hear us, man. Here we are. We're back. Blame it on the storm. You know,
I hope all your patio furniture is all cattywampus in your backyard. I hope it's all flipped over.
the only time I'm going to accept the storm is right now because we had an issue. Look at the freaking thing, man. We're not Tampa.
This is Google's official warning to me, knowing that I'm a resident of Hillsborough County.
Yeah,
Tommy, it's closer to L.A. than it
Remain
is to Tampa.
braced against the reasonable threat for strong tropical storms winds, 58 to 73 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh, naysayer Tommy over here. Hey, listen, we are here, man. What's up, Dave Cribbs?
Hey, what's going on, Dave Villa?
What's up, Tommy Elwell?
Whatever.
Huh? Yeah. Hey, we're gonna jump in just a minute. We're gonna go. We have 3 minutes.
Two.
We have 2 minutes. 2 minutes till we are going to go and move on to the next up, which is our incredible perception versus reality panel, guys. It's going to be an incredible discussion today. I think that we're going to have some great knowledge drop. We're going to have some stuff fly. It's really going to be good, man.
The perception is I'm shorter than I was last week. Last week I was standing up. This week I'm sitting down. That's the reality of it.
You know, I love this topic for dealers, though, perception versus reality, because, you know, in most cases, I think most of us in the car business would say that a customer does have a perception before they walk in our front door. So where are they getting it from? What message are we sending as a dealer and as salespeople? And then how are we responding to it when that customer walks in? How consistent is that message?
Yeah, it's their perception lining up with the reality they're receiving when they come in. And then the other side and the flip side of the coin, I want to discuss, and I'm anxious to hear what our guests have to say about this. I'm anxious to discuss the perception that the customer is always right, the perception that the narrative, I should say, that is always thrown out and pushed, typically by the media. You know, in automotive. I mean, I say the media, meaning, you know, even us, we're media, but the media in automotive that tries to move the narrative along that the customer is fed up. You know, I understand that the customer doesn't enjoy, necessarily purchasing a car, but I'm pretty sure that's something to do with the money, right? In general, I mean, it's a purchase that, you know, it's an expensive purchase, but the narrative is that these lines of customers by the thousands are so fed up that they're going to start riding camels,
pitchforks and torches. They're like, treat us better.
Oh, look, Shrek Part 4. No, that's the people standing outside the dealership with pitchforks, you know. Right?
No, I agree.
So it's perception versus reality. I'm anxious to hear what our guests have to say about this.
Me too.
Yeah,
So we're ready for slash tags?
Yeah, we're all set.
All right.
The next up is slash tags.
Brought to you by Automate.
Brought
Check
to you
these
by
out.
Automate.
The next up is going to be the perception versus reality panel. We'll be back in just a minute. Check this out, man. These are hilarious. You don't want to miss.
There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
Oh, I got them. I got them right here. Slash tags. All right, so Kim Lasorsa, our own Kim Lasorsa today says, at Auto Deal Live, where's at IPD Mail? I can hear him, but I can't see him. It's like he's camouflaged or something. Can't see him because he's wearing a camo shirt. It blends in with the background. Kevin Campbell is happy letting your car dogs answer internet leads, question mark. Have them take a standard grammar and punctuation test and prepare to cry. What he's saying is basically your sales guys on the floor, are you happy with them taking internet saying that they can't, they're illiterate essentially. They're illiterate, they can't apparently send an email back to people. At Kevin Campbell, happy letting your car dogs answer internet leads? Have them take a standard grammar and punctuation test and prepare to cry. Oh God, why can't they spell things? Why must they be so retarded? Help them, Jesus, for they don't know how to spell anything or properly punctuate. Brian Armstrong at Brian Car Guy. If we celebrated gotta get choked up on this pot. Brian Armstrong at Brian Car Guy said, if we celebrated a showed opportunity as heartily as a sold car, there would be better results. So there. Arnold T. Arena, go figure, he tuned in this week. He said, Arnold T. Arena said, if dealers realize a real, all caps, real internet director is of value rather than just a salesperson that takes leads and does web stuff. Web stuff.
Can I just stop you right there for a second? When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
Steve Stauning! If the managers did their job, no dealership would need a BD. Oh, Steve, you're going to get a lot of crap for that one. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was it. That was it. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what a great slash tag we've had. Rest in peace, Gene Wilder. We love you. You'll always be Willy Wonka to me. And also that movie, The Woman in Red, which I happen to like when I was a kid too. So the beginning of the show was our paying our tribute to Gene Wilder. I grew up, I loved Willy Wonka when I was a kid, so it's just a little tribute to him. But moving on, God rest his soul. Moving on, don't forget for next week, let's hashtag Auto Deal Alive. Let's hashtag slash tags. Let's keep it moving, y'all. And until then, there is no place I know that can, I don't know the words. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free. If you truly wish to be. Dong ding dong 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 ding dong ding dong dong.
Welcome back to Auto Dealer Live. Thank you for that, Tommy. Those hashtags are rocking.
It was a slash tag.
Slash tag.
Slash tag.
You didn't watch it, don't lie.
You know what? I haven't seen this
That's
week,
fine.
so I have to be honest. But the weeks previous,
good.
including last week, I mean, they just keep getting better and better. So
They do.
I'm looking forward to going back.
Me and
and
my
watching
team.
it.
Me and my team make these things happen, and it was a tribute to Gene Wilder this week. God rest his soul.
Oh,
Very
nice,
sad.
nice.
You didn't see that Willy Wonka was all over.
I'll
it?
check it
You watched
check it out when I do the replay.
Okay.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Hey, we're gonna jump right in, guys, to the panel and give these guys as much time. I think we had a couple of dealers that were one may be on with us, but anytime you have dealers scheduled to be on, you're subject to cars being sold and deals being desked and paper being hung and customers being waited on. But so we're going to see. But I know we have two of our guests on right now. And we have the partner of eLead One, who is the inspiration kind of for this show because of an article that was written in a recent magazine and also was posted socially. I saw it on LinkedIn called Perception versus Reality, an in-depth look at consumer perception. And we have Bill Wittenmeyer on. And we also have the CEO of Jennison Enterprises and trainer, consultant Mark Jennison on as well. I think we're going to be joined, if we're not now, by the general sales manager of Mark Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Louisiana, Marsh Bice. And I'm not sure if Marsh is on. We're going to find out in a second. But gentlemen, thanks for joining us and being with us today. And I hope you guys are having a great day so far.
Right on. Appreciate it. Always glad to be on.
Well, awesome, man. And Mark, thanks a lot too. And so, Bill, I'm going to start with you, man, since you put this article out here, and I read it, and you're talking about the perception, and a lot of it has to do from an advertising point of view, or what our message says online at dealerships. I mean, if we're looking at an industry in a time frame in 2016 where a large amount of people are looking online, okay, they're checking out a dealership. Somehow online. Reputation, management's a huge deal right now, and the dealerships are being discovered. Whatever they see is the perception, and that is reality. So you're talking about this and coming at it from a point where, a lot of the things that we're saying, we're not backing up. So if we say we're the best, but yet the experience the customer gets is sub best, then a lot of times, the reality is obviously trumping the perception. And by the way, I just received a text from Marsh, and he said he's going to jump on in a second. He's finishing up a deal. So he'll join us in a minute. Lewis, if you give us a thumbs up when Marsh joins in. But Bill, why don't you start us off, man, and then I'll let you guys take it from here, and we'll get this conversation started.
But, look, our whole industry, has for a long time had a negative connotation to it, right? Some of it deserved back in the past, and some of it not well deserved. And, we do those things to ourselves. So I think we've tried to overcompensate over the years and trying to give a better perception of where we're at and what we are, and whether that's sales, service, and particularly online now. But the problem is, we're also creative in this business, but we're also all the same, so you see the same taglines over and over again. And what shocks me is that what we perceive, what we put out there, especially on our online presence, isn't even what the customer's actual experience is, whether it's talking about, we're great, it's going to be a fast, friendly experience for you. And then, of course, they try to call in and we try to walk them through a process versus the process that they want. And I think we just need to examine that a little bit. I don't think we have to overcome all this negative perception that's out there, that the feeling that we've had for years. I think that the industry has grown well enough now that I think we need to be a little bit more authentic and a little bit more honest. And, hey, look, we all make mistakes. There's not a single person out there that doesn't make a mistake. And the sum of our failures is experience. So, I think we just need to do a little bit better job of what are we saying versus what is the actual experience that's happening, and going back and guiding that.
Mark, let me get your take on this. I mean, you've been in business for a while, and it almost seems like there's an element sometimes, I think, that comes with the car business that maybe isn't the element that comes with being a strong car person in going back over the years sometimes doesn't come with the automatic skill set necessary to possibly care about this kind of stuff. So it's almost foreign. They care about it, but it doesn't come natural. And but I think we're in a day and age where it's really got to happen. I mean, I'm right. I mean.
Is this question for me?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mark. Yeah, Mark Jennison.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't tell. There's a little bit of an echo here, but I'm just going to chime in on something that I just picked up when I was looking in the Washington stock. For me, man, perception is reality with me. What you see is what you get. And I don't know how much you follow me or what you know about me, but I'm an open book, right? And I like to portray that to the customers. They might not, you guys might know my past or whatever, my comeback story, the things that I do, but actually I'm taking exactly, the downfalls, the things that I've been through, the persona. I fit the old stereotype of what, the addicts and the people that were in the industry, and I'm trying to change that. And I'm trying to change it one salesman at a time, but I'm actually trying to make that better for the customer, realize that in reality, we are all just people, and in the perception that I like to bring every single day to the dealership, to the business, and everything that I do, the more transparent, the more honest you are as an individual, I believe the better the experience for everyone around. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that was my take on what he just said.
Yeah, no, that's a good word, Mark, and we appreciate that. And I'm gonna ask Bill a quick question, and maybe this is kind of part of how I perceived, pardon the pun, the actual article. But let me ask you this: Are we separated in the dealership from our taglines and slogans and our mantras? I mean, or do they really mean something? Does our staff really live by what we're putting out there on the internet. Is that maybe where we're losing some of the perception when the customer walks in of what they may anticipate experiencing versus what they actually experience when they get to the dealership?
Yeah, I think every dealer is different. I think as an industry as a whole, and look, I agree with Mark. I think transparency is very important. And I believe you have to be authentic in that. It's one thing to be transparent and tell people that this is what I am and this is what we do. It's another thing to actually live it and be authentic with it and carry through that. And I think the most important thing is, does your staff, does the dealership know? Does your staff even realize the slogans that they truly represent? Is that the customer's experience? What's funny in our business, they say it's the second largest purchase that a consumer does next to buying a home. And look, I know all of us have bought a home. It's one of the most disastrous experiences in the world when you buy a home. You're looking at all these different places. It's a massive amount of money. That salesperson's making a far bigger commission per sale than we do in our business. And yet when you look at the perception of that industry and how they put their taglines and their slogans out there, it's all about this really easy, great, wonderful process of owning a home. And I'd like to get that a little bit more in our business and that authenticity. The stuff that's on the usual websites is a little bit what I said in the article. It's like everybody says we're number one. Everybody says we have the greatest customer experience. Everybody says we're number one from CSI. Everybody says we have the largest inventory. Well, what happens when the customer gets there? Do you always have that inventory, right? Are you always that fast? Do you have those things that happen that quickly? And I think we need to really mirror, if those are our slogans, and if that's what we want to live by, then we need to ensure that the actual process is really happening at the store. And as dealers and as managers, we have to test that, right? You have to call into your own store. You have to see what the experience is online from your house. Don't go online from the store. Go home and shop your own website from the house. Is that the same experience that you see every day that your customers are experiencing? And then try to make that fit and make that happen a little bit better.
Let me ask this. Let me kind of shift gears here for a second. Talk about price because Bill, you brought it up regarding the home and yeah, we've all bought a home. I just went through that experience and I think only thing regarding a home that might be a little more painful is building a home. But buying and purchasing a home, you're right. And, I'm just thinking about that. They disclose their commission. I mean, you have a realtor right here too, but you're dealing with somebody who is disclosing that I'm about to knock your head off. You know what I mean? Like, and you're going to be okay with it because you can't buy, you really have no choice, but let's talk about transparency for a second. It was said here, I'm reading something and I want to get your take on it. This came in here. Okay, transparency in customer negotiation is relative. Mark, and I'll put this towards Mark Jennison. Mark, this person said transparency in customer negotiation is relative. Listen to what they say. Perception plays a large role. Consumers typically think there's such thing as, quote, best price. They will never be convinced that there is no such thing. So this person is saying there is no such thing as best price. And I guess the take maybe that they're coming from would be, there's always more they can discount. And the bottom line is there's going to be a place. And then it was said, reading a little further in their comment, that if somebody saves $2,000, then they may give it to them, but they're going to take it out on somebody else and pack that $2,000 in on somebody else, and they're going to make it back. So is there really such thing as best price? And is transparency when it comes to pricing really, really what customers want?
Why does best price have to always be cheapest price? And that's something that I have a lot of guys that are on my program that I work with, or even my friends down at the dealership, the newbies that come in. They want to know, they think the best price is always the lowest price. So I believe that being transparent and letting them know the value of the store. Like, I was very proud of the store that I work for, and the strong Christian organization and the family values and the way that they back. Right? I believe that, to me, I like to sell the value in the dealership. I like to sell the value in the fact that I'm going to be there to take care of the people, even though I'm no longer there right now. But the other people there, the salesmen are there. The best price to me was never the cheapest price. It was always the fact that we had way more to offer. I believe that every day that I showed up, every day that the dealership showed up, the service department, everything that we did, we were giving them the best, 100% of our effort to maximize every opportunity for the customer. Right. So for me, to get back to the transparency, I never liked to just give stuff away. It wasn't about the price always. For me, I like to be the most transparent, like I said, and let them know that they're getting the best service, the best guy in town to work with. And I believe that the best price is not the cheapest price, 100%.
Okay.
Quick question: How do we talk people out of what their perception already is? What I mean by that is, in other words, I think the perception is that in the car business that it's not, whatever you say, you know, I'm number one in the market, you know, best customer service, best CSI, best service, whatever. I think the assumption is, unfortunately, right, wrong, or indifferent, it's that's a lie. So how do we change that? Because obviously people's perception is their reality. So if that's the case, how do we change the perception of that, of all these things in the business? Either y'all could take that one.
Well, I think you have to take the time. You have to show them. You have to lay it out there in front of them, let them see what they're really getting. I mean, I'm a firm believer in what you see is what you get. Okay, and I like to go back to the fact before I was selling cars, I was probably one of the best customers for the dealership that I worked for, that I ended up working for. Right, I bought 27 cars from these guys over the 7 years that I owned my trucking company, and these guys treated me like gold. And the reason I say that is every time that I went back and I had a customer that came in, and I had to get them off the price. I guess it was more of just managing their feelings, if anything, right? And letting them know what I was going to give them. But the truth is, sometimes you're just not going to get the guys off the price. I mean, there's some people that come to mind that I told cars to that for them, that price was the cheapest price, and I couldn't win that battle. I'm not going to say that I won every single battle.
I agree with a lot of what Mark's saying, and particularly, look, best price doesn't mean cheapest price. I think one of the big things, though, that we have to take into account and realization is where we're at as a market right now, which is this. You know, it starts online. It's not like it was when I was selling cars years ago. I mean, even just a few years ago, it was an average of 5 visits to each dealership, you know, actually physically. Now, you know, if you ask Google statistics tell you it's 1.6, right? It's under 2 visits to an actual dealership. So you're not really getting a lot of opportunity once they get there, which means those opportunities are that much more critical and important. So I think it really begins in your advertising, whatever that may be, whether it's digital, whether you're still using some of the old conventional TV or radio or any of that, which obviously I'm totally against. But you know, if you're digitally present, any of your marketing, what are you saying in those taglines? And do they really matter? Does a customer really give a crap if you're number one at anything? Does that really say anything? It may just mean that you sold more for more money than anybody else. I think it's, you know, what is the most important thing to a customer now? And I think it's going to be time. We all know we'll pay more to get things done quicker, easier, smoother. And Mark mentioned this as well. Look, it's not even just about doing your best effort. It's about being a quality of person, right? It's about doing what you say you're going to do and doing it in a timely manner. Those are the two critical things. It's not about being first. It's about doing it at the best and doing it in a timely manner so that your consumers save more time, have a better experience. And when you do get that opportunity that's much more limited in front of you now, you can actually follow through with that. But the whole team has to do that. You can't be an individual in the dealership representing one thing and the rest of the group is representing something else. If you're the salesperson that's being transparent and authentic and trying to do quickly, but your sales manager is glued to the seat or Velcro to the seat, won't get up and come out and greet the customer or get involved in the process quickly or whatever, look, you've already lost. So it has to be a whole team effort. It has to be a whole conceptual and a cultural thing that happens.
We have Marsh Bice on. Marsh, thanks for joining us. I'm gonna. We had a feedback here. Let me give you this and see what you think, Marsh. General Sales Manager in Louisiana, Mark Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Somebody said consumers should be careful, Marsh, of what they wish for. We're talking about transparency, perception versus reality, and they say they might benefit from transparency for a short time until the franchise dealer system, which is fueled by competition, disappears and is replaced by a direct from the OEM business model. In the current system, this person said dealers are barred from price fixing. In the other model, manufacturers can charge whatever they want. I mean, is there some truth to that, Marsh, that, you know, that possibly this narrative is not necessarily what consumers want, or maybe they don't know what this person says? Marsh, you have an opinion on that?
You know, here's my philosophy on that, Dave, is their customers not necessarily want the best price, they want the best value. Because when you talk about value, what you're talking about is something that value, the definition of value is what is it worth in exchange for what I'm going to give? I'm going to give up, a 5-year, 6-year commitment toward a vehicle itself. And what kind of value am I getting? That's the biggest thing that customers are concerned with. So what are they getting with that? The transparency part, where so many times people think that you have to, race to the bottom line, or here's what I paid cost for it. Customers, here's the thing. Customers, they like to negotiate. They don't like to haggle. When you haggle, you're haggling over, you're talking about something mute point, something stupid. But customers still want to negotiate to some extent. It doesn't matter what you put online or how aggressive you are necessarily online. Customers are always going to challenge you to something different. Now, obviously, you want to back that up with market-based pricing and things like that. But then also, you have to enshroud everything that you have with the best possible value. The transparency is not necessarily in the price itself, Dave. The transparency is the transparency in who they're dealing with. The salesperson. Are you just one of those salespeople that are just, I buy from you on Saturday and come on Monday, you're not there anymore? Or are you going to be one of those people that's going to be there for the long haul? And the transparency part of it is, are you going to be able to be there not only today but also tomorrow as well?
That's good.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Marsh. I oftentimes think of transparency. When I think of that, I oftentimes think of the salesperson more so than the price. And especially during the experience, even subconsciously, when you're dealing with someone who you feel is authentic, to me that is transparency. And if they're genuinely concerned about you, it'll give you that perception of genuineness and transparency. I want to ask you something, Bill. I don't think any of us go to work in the mornings to go to the dealership to not provide value or to not give a customer a good experience. But I think, and again, what I took from the article is, what is the customer expecting based on what they've already seen? Can we be consistent with that message? And I think that oftentimes that comes down to, and it gets back into the culture of the dealership, and you brought it up before, about the whole team, about everyone understanding in the dealership not only what our goal is, but what are our USPs, what are our unique selling propositions, and how do we respond to customers when they walk in the door and present that so that that message is consistent. Go ahead, Bill.
Right. Look, Marsh had some really good points, and I agree with those. And let me state this. When it comes to customers' perception and coming in, I think a lot of times we're going to price when they get there, and we're going to price as salespeople because we messed up somewhere else, right? The easiest thing in our business is to give money, and instead of going and giving an experience. And what we do is, if we didn't get them timely, right, they had to wait to get in the F&I for an extra hour. What do we start doing? We start throwing things in, right? We immediately go back to trying to put value to the dollar instead of value to the experience or what we could provide to them, not only short term but long term. So first, your culture, as I mentioned earlier, I think you have to have an entire culture and team that's built in and understand what you're trying to achieve, right? How many dealerships where everybody in the store, including the receptionist, including your lot porter, understand what are you trying to achieve as a dealership? So I think it starts from there, and it starts at the people that talk to the people the most, such as your receptionist, et cetera. So if you start at that level and convey to them what you're trying to achieve, it's not about being the lowest price dealership. It's not about being any of those things. And that you don't have to default to giveaway or to price or to money to make up for mistakes. We all make mistakes. I'll make a mistake on this right here. Somewhere I'm going to say something that's wrong or do something wrong or, whatever. But I'm not going to automatically start going to my pocket wallet and say, hey, David Bill, I got to give you some money because I didn't make it right. I mean, I just try to make it right. Right. So I think we need to do that as a whole culture inside the store.
So okay, we have
Can I interject something there?
Yeah. Is this Marsh?
Yeah,
go ahead. And we do have a caller too. I think Kevin Campbell called in too.
We got to take a commercial.
No, we're not. We're gonna wait on that.
Okay, real quick. I think customers have, by and large, customers have high hopes but low expectations. And so when they come, they hope it's going to be something different. But their expectation, the bar is set so low as an industry for us that their expectation level is low in the sense that because most salespeople haven't come through for them. Most dealerships haven't come through. They're empty promises. So what we've got to key in on is, number one, you just got to set the bar just a little bit higher with a little bit higher expectation, but really key in on those high hopes. They want to feel like there's something cherished. They want to feel appreciated. Customers do not want to be considered a transaction. And so that's why they challenge to get something different, because they don't want to be a transaction. They want something totally different above and beyond what they've been getting. And so if we can key in on those hopes and really key in on those feelings, whatever their feelings are, if they want to feel better about themselves, we're image consultants. If they just need something that's going to be more reliable, whatever that is, if we can tap into that and harness that and just raise the bar just a little bit higher, we're going to sell a lot more customers.
Look, and Marcia, if that is true, if that bar is there, then that should be, for us as an industry, a great leg up, at least as an individual dealership or group, to make an improvement without a lot of things. And I'll give you an example of what one of those improvements could be. I mean, if you call in, and I spoke about this in the article, for a service appointment, a customer thinks to themselves, wait, this is an appointment. I'm going to get seen. It's going to go in right when I get there because I set this time. But what's the experience? They get there, they have to wait, the service advisor comes out, they pull them into an office, they sit down, they gather this information. Maybe if we change some of the words, we change the result. Instead of setting a service appointment, maybe we set a check-in time. So now the expectation's set a little bit differently. Like, hey, I'm going to check you in at 10, then we're going to diagnose what you need for the car and get you into service. I think we could do that in all the different departments that we have inside the dealership, just as an example, to raise that bar up as Marsh was talking about.
Yeah, very good point.
That's good, great point. Kevin Campbell, Kevin Campbell, you called in, I believe. Is Kevin on the phone?
Yeah,
Hey, Kev, how you doing, man? Are you listening? We have Mark. We have good, man. I know. But congratulations. I know you're just going through a. I'm going through a change and a positive change. I know you're going to be. You left your dealership, and so I know you're listening to Mark Jennison, Marsh Bice, and Bill Wittenmeyer. And let me ask you this, man. You got a comment or a question? Maybe you could weigh in on this subject. We're talking about perception versus reality.
Sorry, I didn't get that last part, man. You're breaking up on me. I heard about every other word.
Oh, I'm saying we're talking about perception versus that reality, the true customer experience, and
right.
So, I mean, why don't you weigh in on that, and maybe you have a question for somebody on the panel. We have Mark Jennison, Bill Wittenmeyer, or Marsh Bice.
I just think that as an industry, we can all provide a better experience for our customers from every single point, from service, sales, parts. It starts with the people, employing really good people at your store and holding them to high standards, and then not playing games with your customer. Not having these huge addendums and promising these maximum trading values on over allowance. We as an industry have to work with our customers and give them that good experience, and then give them something that sometimes we forget because we do it every single day. The customer, they're only buying a car every 3 or 4 years. And so that's a big deal for them, and we've got to really kind of give them that wow moment from the time they step into our store.
Good. Dave?
Yeah, I think we also have Jonathan Dawson on the line. Are you there, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm here, guys.
Hey, Jonathan. Why don't you weigh in? We're talking about perception versus reality, what the customer's expectations are before they come on the lot, and then maybe what actually happens at the lot.
Yeah, so I think one of the missing components of the conversation so far, I think a part that could be elaborated on a little bit, is the educational marketing and educational selling component. I think part of the reason the perception versus reality gap is so big is because we don't really educate our customers through the process. What we do is we tell them, what we're going to do, or we do even what was revolutionary, 10, 15 years ago, informational selling, telling them I'm going to do this, this, and this for you. But that's not the same as educational selling. I'll give you 2 examples of exactly that. So last week I was at 2 different dealerships in New Jersey, and one of the dealers is actually somebody who was a guest on your show already, a gentleman by Paul Sansone Jr. I was at his dealership, and we had a customer who was buying a car for his daughter, and his goal, objective payment-wise, was this set payment that he wanted to be at, but he wanted to do it with no money down. And he had a car he was trading in towards the purchase. Well, I sat down and educated him on the options concerning his balance remaining on his car to talk about the payoff and what his options were. And I presented him with the 3 options that he has concerning his balance. I said, as we put all this in the computer, let me go over the details with you. You can write a check for the full amount of your current car, transfer the full equity of your car towards your new car, lower your payments dramatically, increase your flexibility for your daughter down the road, lower your finance charges, the best thing to do. Option 2 would be to write a check for a portion of that and be able to transfer more of the equity, lower payments, and give yourself flexibility. Option 3 is to try to roll it in. Unfortunately, that raises the payments dramatically. I said, given that this is your money, I want to not make any assumptions on our part. How did you want to handle your balance? The guy said, I'd never thought of it that way. So you're telling me if I just write a check for the full amount, I could do that, and you guys would just take care of it? I said, exactly. So the guy went ahead and processed the deal with, went and got $12,000 from his bank, and the management team was flipping out. Like, this guy was about to walk on the payments are too high, and I don't want to put any money down. But when I educated him on the process, it changed everything. And I'll give you one more example of exactly that. Oftentimes, dealers have two different pricing models. They have a price on the lot that's different than their price online. But what they don't do is they don't educate the customer on why their pricing would be different. And so there's this disconnect, and the customer comes in confused and frustrated. So I told my client, I said, if you're going to do that, why don't you take a photo of the price that's on the lot and make that photo one of the uploaded photos so that somebody who's looking online will see the price that's on the car is different. But then in the description, all you have to do is put priced on the lot at and put the disclosed lot price in the description of the internet ad. So that way when they see that, they'll see internet price of, but priced on the lot at, and see the gap. And that creates the opportunity for the education. I think the problem with perception versus reality is we're not educating the customer. We don't help them understand how things work. We tell them what we're going to do, or we tell them what we're doing, but we don't help them understand the process. So I'd like to hear a little bit more from some of them, guys, the panel. How can we better educate the customer through the process?
Well, I think it starts with educating our staff. I mean, that you hear that over and over again. I mean, I know things change dramatically, and I'm an old guy now. I mean, if there's the cards, there's the keys, go make me proud. But still, you remember when car buying was fun, right? I mean, it should be a fun experience, and that was a point that was made. It happens every 3 to 4 years. This is a big thing. It's a fun thing. We've kind of taken that out. So I think it starts with the staff. And it's not just about education and closing skills and different, closing aspects and ways to go about the negotiations and the price points. Again, it's about the whole process. It's about educating about the process. How many times do you hear a good salesperson go to the customer and say, hey, we're going to get you right into finance. You're going to be there, no problem, right? He knows he's got a 30-minute wait, but he just set up an expectation for failure, even though they're that far down the process. It's just an example, but I think we have to educate our staff, and it's okay to be honest. It's okay to say, hey, look, we got a 30-minute backup. It's been a really popular day. You, like a lot of people, took advantage of a great opportunity. What can I do to help you out during that time? Just set the right expectations. But I think the education starts with our staff, because if they have the information, then they convey it.
Yeah, and let's go back to Mark Jennison. I'd like to get your take on the comments that we just heard from Jonathan and Bill.
Well, I agree with Bill here. I believe it has to start with your people at the dealership, right? When they know more, they'll do more. So if you can start with the education there. I mean, if you've got a brand new newbie that's coming into the car business and they don't know what to do, or they never bought a car. I mean, some of these guys come in and they're real fresh. They don't know anything yet. If they don't know what to expect themselves, how are they going to educate somebody else? So we need to start with the education, with the training, right through and through. From when the people walk onto the store, I'm talking about the employees. When they walk into the store, they get their job, right from the beginning, you need to get their perception of reality, right? That way they're not selling lies, right? They're not selling false dreams, false hopes, stuff like that. So I agree with him 100% on the fact that when your people know more, they will do more, right? So if you can educate from the start, it's going to carry over to the customer. It's going to carry on to the customer's referral. And just educate them completely through the line. Every single person across the board wins.
Yeah, and I think.
Hey, let's try this novel idea. Why don't we ask the customer when they get there what their expectations are of the day? What do they expect from the day? Right? You don't even have to go into closing. Right? It's not even a trial close. It's like, hey, what is your expectation today, and how can we achieve that together? Right? Let's set out the game plan. You don't know where you're going if you don't have a map. So we always just assume, they're not shopping, they're all here to buy, and all these great taglines we taught each other to think all the time. How about we just ask, hey, what's your expectation of today's experience, and how can I help you achieve it?
It's good.
I'm all over that, Bill, because I tell you, there's something I think that's been lost in the world of sales and sales books and sales courses and everything else, and you hit on two of them, which I try to live by. I really do. It's that just be honest with people because they appreciate it because there's so much crap they're fed that if you're just honest, they actually can relate. And then also set the expectation, a realistic, because actually when you set the expectation, sometimes you're pleasantly surprised that you don't have to live up to the world. You know what I mean? You don't have to, that's all I have to do to make you happy? Okay, fantastic. I can accomplish that easier than I thought. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has has pie in the sky expectations. You just don't know because you never ask.
Yeah, and when you agree with their expectation in the beginning, it allows their guard to go completely down, which gives you the opportunity to
You know what it says? It says ultimately, hey, I give a crap about what you want and what you care about. So I'm gonna.
Exactly. Bill, you brought up earlier, that we should, as leaders in the dealerships, we should maybe shop ourselves. We should go online. We should see what that experience is like. And, I can't emphasize that enough. And it really comes back to understanding what your people are, what is the message consistent? What are they presenting? And how well do they know the message that you're trying to portray as a dealer? Alan Ram, a brilliant move by Alan Ram. One of the ways that he gets business is he calls the dealership and phone shops and records it and then calls the owner, hey, this is what I found out. But as owners and GMs, we can do that very same thing, right?
Look, I tell you what, it's an easy way to sell training because we know that there's going to be an opportunity for failure out there because of the life of training we do. And look, I don't want to get too centered on that, but maybe a great opportunity for a dealership for a sales meeting coming up on a Saturday. We always like to focus on raw and this and that for our specials. Maybe just go around and ask the people in the room, what do they think the expectations are of the dealership? Right? What are the three main activities as a person or an employee? What are their responsibilities of this dealership? And see the wide range of different messages that you get back. And it'll give you an opportunity to say, well, okay, wait a second. Maybe what we're trying to do and we're conveying is not actually what our employees think, and there's where the disconnect is. Maybe it's not even with our customers at all. Maybe it's internally. Maybe I just go around and find out, hey, what are the three most important things that you as an employee have a responsibility here for the dealership that we're trying to convey to our customers?
Amen. So let's do this, guys. Let's bound, your phone's ringing. Put on vibrate. So we still got Marshall in line. We still got Bill's with us. Mark, you guys are all three with us, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is is Marshall in line, guys?
Yo,
Marsh, you're there. All right. We're gonna do our wrap up. I know we could talk about this longer, but we're gonna give everybody like a 3-minute chance to kind of wrap up the final thoughts. We'll start with you, Marsh. So you can get back to the blacktop, buddy.
Cal Fussman, who is a writer for Esquire magazine, was talking recently about his childhood hero, Muhammad Ali. And in the course of talking to him and everything like that, he said there was a great piece that was in Time magazine about one of the writers that journeyed along with Muhammad Ali. And there was one story that he remembered vividly was they were running late to catch a flight, and so they're basically running through the airport when Muhammad was the champ. And so they're running through the airport, and Ali saw a lady pull out her camera, and he stopped his whole entourage, and he took a picture with the lady. And his whole entourage is like freaking out because they're like, dude, we're gonna miss the flight. And so he posed for the picture and took the picture, and as they're running off, the writer who's tagging along with him said, Ali, he said, champ, why did you do that? He said, what you have to understand is this. He said, this is the only time in that lady's life that she'll ever be able to take a picture with me. And I wanted to make sure it was the best picture possible. And what we have to understand as sales consultants, what we have to understand as managers, what we have to understand as the sales industry is when customers are coming on the lot, it is so important that we recognize and are cognizant of the fact that we've got to give them the best possible picture ever. And so this is your one moment with every single customer. Customers are statistically shopping at fewer dealerships. So as you're working with your customers, remember this, that this is the only time that you'll be able to take the picture. So make sure the picture that you're taking for this customer, metaphorically speaking, is the best possible one. And I wish you all success.
Thank you very much, Marsh. That was awesome.
That was really good.
Always love his analogies.
Yes.
That was good. I wish I could pull out stuff like that. But
That was awesome.
very good.
Going to go to Mark Jennison. Mark, thanks for being with us today, man. We're going to give you a few minutes here. Just go ahead and give us your closing thoughts, and then also tell the dealers how they can reach you.
Awesome. Well, listen, guys, thanks a lot for having me on here. I really do appreciate it. I apologize the whole time. I could really only hear Bill here, so I was trying to interject when I could, but I couldn't hear much. But listen, I want to talk about the customer experience and just the overall, not so much even just the experience in the dealership, just in life, the mark you can take and leave on people, right? Every minute that you're alive, every second that you have, no matter who's coming in your way or you meet or whatever it may be, take the time out to sell the best experience you can as a person, because I believe this is a pretty cool show that's about transparency and perception versus reality. Don't be fake, right? If you're going to be a real person, be real 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and do the right thing every single day. So I believe if you continue to put in good every day, put it out, you do the right thing, show up, it's going to carry over to your work. It's going to carry over to the way you approach the customers. It's going to carry over the way that you close the deal. Just the overall experience is going to be better if you yourself concentrate on being a better person. And I'm big on your why, your life, your purpose, your passion, creating a whole better being of the universe, if you will. And that's just kind of my thing. I just think that the more you put in, the more real you are, the more transparent, the more honest, and the more open you are to life and the people in general, you're just going to crush it every single day. So if you want to find more out about me, you can check me out at markjennison.com or the Comeback Academy. And I truly appreciate you having me on here, David, and the rest of the crew. And Bill, it's nice to meet you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark.
Yes, and Bill Wittenmeyer.
You know, I am not a creator. I'm a critic, and I steal everything I do. So I don't have a lot of original, but I'm gonna steal something that Mark said earlier that I wrote down, which was image consultant, which I thought was a fabulous title. And what I would challenge us as dealers in an industry to do is, if we are image consultants, which I believe we are, and everything, we're the greatest actors in the world. I think what we have to do is we have to see, do our people, do our staff, do they understand the image that we're trying to convey? Whether it's that salesperson meeting I mentioned earlier as a suggestion to find out what is their thought. Maybe we should start with the perception of reality within our own stores and our own businesses first, and then see how we can transform that out to the public image, right? Do our slogans actually represent what our customers' experiences are? And finally, again, I think you have to focus in the beginning, once you get the staff in line with what your message is, what are you conveying online? Because that's where you're being seen the most in any of your marketing or advertising. Make sure that you're not going after the standard things, the things that people really don't care about, whether you're number one or the things that don't really convey to them, Convey other things that we're going to give you a great experience, but that experience is going to be about saving you time. It's about giving you a quality delivery. It's about giving you quality people. It's about the long-term understanding that this is a fun process. This should be a great fun process.
All right. Very good. Thank you guys for joining us, man. Great panel. Perception versus reality. You be the judge. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. And what do you think, man?
It was good.
I think it was good stuff.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shaw.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. I think, Bill brought up a great idea, which is, instead of this week's sales meeting just being the hoorahs, just like Bill talked about, go around to your staff, find out what they think your message is. If they're off and you're going to get different answers, and my expectation is you probably will, then that's going to make for a great meeting. Let's get consistent on our message so that when people come in with that perception, they'll actually have a reality that matches up to what they're hoping for, as Marsh Bice said.
Okay. Outstanding. Hey, we're going to be right back because we actually have someone, I think we have a couple of callers that called in. We have someone else that's holding here. We're going to bring them on as we close, but we're going to be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. And because we got a surprise guest called in, and we're going to bring this person on.
Is it Santa?
I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Oh, my Lord.
We'll be back in 2 seconds.
Hi, I'm Chip Perry. Earlier this year, we made a pledge to dealers that outlined some major changes designed to make TrueCar a more positive place for you to do business. I can't say enough how valuable your feedback has been and how much we believe that your ongoing advice and guidance will enable us to continue to improve our service to you in meaningful ways. On behalf of everyone at TrueCar, I want to sincerely thank you for your support and guidance while we are making these fundamental changes needed to ensure that TrueCar works better for you. See more at truecar.com/pledge.
Go with the pros who know. Your dealership wouldn't trust its vehicles in the hands of an uncertified technician. So why trust its finances with accounting firms that don't know your business? Rosenfeld & Company knows the automotive industry and has been serving dealerships like yours for over 20 years. We take pride in helping our clients grow from single-point stores to some of the largest dealer groups in the country. We are more than just your accountants. Our team can guide you through mergers and acquisitions, operational reviews, succession planning, and more. Visit us on the web for more information at www.rosenfieldandco.com.
Jason Rice from Lot Pop, and let me tell you what we do to help dealerships increase used car sales 20 to 30% in gross in volume. 3 areas we focus on: trend reports. We look at weekly trends that no one else is trending to make adjustments on our inventory. 2 is we do weekly review calls to review those trends, but also we dig through every car that needs to be price adjusted to increase the searches. And 3, we do a virtual lot walk, make sure every car is standing tall in line, and make sure we don't have bad photos like these. Check out our website, lotpop.com. our blog at automotiverevolution.com, and our weekly video tips at increaseturn.com. Thanks.
Service Group has over 40 years of experience empowering dealerships to grow profits, develop personnel, and provide their customers with a high level of service. We offer high-quality products, world-class servicing, and innovative training and technology. Meet our team: first-class trainers, the best account managers, and an executive team that's second to none.
This is your Service Group team. We look forward to giving your people the power to perform.
Yes, we came back for a minute. Thank you to all our sponsors for doing all the sponsory things that you do. We're almost going to end the show for the day because we have to get out of here and pack up because the hurricane is coming straight for us. It's literally heading down 301 right now as we speak. So
yeah, 301 Georgia.
301 in Georgia. So we wanted to bring a final caller. We have another call on the line. Let you be heard. Who we got on the line? Hello? Auto Deal Live. This is the guy that's on the phone. Hello?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Yes. Are you the caller on the phone?
It's Arnold?
I am a caller on the phone.
Good. That's what we're looking for. Awesome. Good job.
Arnold on the line.
Yeah.
Arnold
What's up,
Sierrina, what up?
And I just want to say to begin with that I don't talk in 140 characters or less.
That was, you just did.
But I am very passionate about the topic today, which is customer experience. And I think one of the biggest problems in our industry is that we have all of these amazing technologies available. Like there's vendors that do just about everything you could possibly think of. But there's a disconnect, I think, in the process. And part of that is between vendors and OEMs. A customer could go online to, let's say, a Chrysler, website, build a car, submit a lead, and the dealer gets it with none of that information. So the customer may have just spent 30 minutes or an hour or however long building the exact car they want, and all the dealer gets is their name and phone number and email address or whatever. And you got to start the process over again. I just came back from the Disney Customer Experience Summit, and one of the biggest takeaways I had from that is that customer experience is all about consistency, and that's what we need to, I think, be focused on. You have to focus on. We have people starting the process of buying a car, in all different areas, right? Some of them start online. Some of them will just walk into the dealership. But that experience needs to be consistent throughout the whole process. There can't be a disconnect anywhere in there. If they start online and they couldn't get a quote, and you don't send them a quote, even though the button says get a quote, you just say come in. Well, you just ruin the customer experience. Look, I don't care if you want to give them a quote or not. All I'm saying is that if you don't want to give them a quote, don't have the little button say get a quote. Make that process seamless across their entire experience. If you want to sell more cars, sell it however they want to be sold. If you ever, I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Suckers, but the guy that didn't want to come into the store, what'd they do? They took the desk onto the lot, right? It's the same concept. Ensure that you have that ability, whether they want to buy online or whether they don't. And that's where these tech companies are coming in, and what a lot of people refer to as disruptors, and and taking some market share and building steam. But then the problem is that they go online, they come into the store, and it's just like when you go to Best Buy, right, or any other retail store. If you go in and you need help and nobody's around, you're irritated, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same idea if you go into a store and there's too many people. Have you ever been in a store and like every 5 seconds someone's saying like, hey, you need some help? Can I help you with something? Eventually that gets irritating. And the big trend nowadays is this whole cradle to grave thing. This one person, cut out F&I, all that. And I don't necessarily think that's the problem. I think it's creating the emotional connection with the customer, and you can't do that, with too many people involved. So I agree with that part, but I also agree that there are people that specialize in certain things, and similar to companies like Next Up, of course, they make sure that there's one person there that's ready and available at all times to help that customer. Not whatever customer shows up, but that customer. Regardless of how they're dressed or what they drove in on, or if they drove in on a skateboard or came off the bus or whatever. So, you have to treat everybody the same, and it's all about consistency. You can't have a great customer experience if there's processes that are broken. And that's a lot on the vendors, because they have to communicate together. They all have great processes and they have great technology, but if they don't communicate well together, the dealer who's relying on their CRM or who's relying on, that information, if they don't have it, then there's a disconnect, and customers are frustrated, and it may not be the dealer's fault.
Right.
And that's all. That's what I had to say about this topic.
Well, thank you.
Why couldn't you put that on Twitter, Arnold? Jeez.
Thank you very much, Arnold. We appreciate you calling in, man, and appreciate you your support and listening. I think that was very well said, sir.
That was good.
Thank you very much.
All right, no problem. See, I don't just tweet funny stuff. I actually have smart stuff to say occasionally.
Especially when you refer to it as smart stuff, that's how you can tell. That's how I always tell everybody. Hey, I got some smart stuff to say. Listen up to me right now as I say it.
Thank you, brother.
See you, bro.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bro. So Arnold tweets in 140 characters and speaks in
7,422 characters. I kept track.
He's like, I just spoke a 7,000 plus character.
Hey, he drank the Kool-Aid on that Disney stuff or whatever. I saw he had a tattoo. He got like a Disney tattoo.
Well, it's smart because somehow. You know what he did. You know what? It's smart. It's smart because you know what he did. He's in the auto industry, but he's always looking outside. So he goes to. I mean, what better? Yeah. Of an experience. I mean, when it comes to like the human experience and spending your money. I mean, as much money as you spend at Disney, what better of an experience have you ever had by getting rammed up the butt, okay, in the form of thousands of bucks in a day? You know what I mean? Hey, I just spent $1,700 today. But you know what? It didn't hurt that
What
bad.
a customer experience I got. What was the customer experience takeaway? What's that? Oh, I don't know. I almost had a heat stroke. My kids didn't shut up the whole time. I had some sticky crap all over my hands
feet
all
hurt.
day.
Can't get the little Small World song out of my head. But you know something? I tell you what, I feel beautiful and wonderful and all warm and fuzzy.
Almost got a divorce on the way home. Fighting with the.
I'm already planning on my next trip there. I'm already planning on my next trip. We're
going back
again in
next year.
November. We're gonna go for the Christmas parade, Mickey's Christmas parade. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
All the freaking kids want to see this stay late and see the fireworks. Oh yeah? Well, you know what? How about I slap all three of you?
Unless they got
my feet hurt. I don't want to. You want to see some fireworks? How about this? I beat the crap
How
out
about
of
the
you.
fireworks? How about I go up to the customer service desk and find out why it's $600 to get my family in for the day?
Yeah.
I want to see some fireworks. Let's go take.
Let's go take it out of the concierge. The Disney concierge. Oh, Mickey Mouse. We beat the crap out of Mickey Mouse.
Hi, Erica. Hi, Bella. Hi, Christian. Hi, Sam.
Hey, want to go Disney this weekend?
Love you guys.
All right.
Love you guys. We're not going to Disney anytime soon.
All right.
Just for that.
How about that for customer experience? All right.
You
So
be
our
complaining
producers are both turtlenecking right now.
You can buy it. Let's keep it straight. She's out.
Ezra Balkum and Luis Torres are both turtlenecking or prairie dogging right now. Both of them. Ask Arnold. You heard them on the break. They got to go to the restroom. So we got to go, or we're gonna go pull the pants down right here and drop a load. Something. We got to go, man. We're ruining the whole customer experience of Auto Deal Live.
Customer experience of Auto Deal Live
sucks.
Customer experience of this room is going to be ruined in about 30 seconds if we don't let them out.
Oh my gosh.
God bless you. Good night. Love y'all.
The next up is a great show.